already. I hope it doesn't. Do I need a microphone, do you think?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
I just have my headphones. I don't use like a whole microphone thing.
Tell me if it sounds bad. I'm, as usual, going to put on.
You got to start with the mascara for good life. This is how Sammy starts all of our stuff.
Yes. I don't know if we're on it right now, but
I know.
yes,
well, we're coming on now, but everyone should know when we do Fever Dream, this is how we start. Sammy typically starts by putting on mascara.
Putting on my makeup. Because I turn on my phone or my
and then
thing,
we're like,
and I'm
this
like,
is what it looked like.
Yeah, exactly. But also, if I cared that much, I would just put it on before.
No, it's part of the process. It's part of the good luck process.
Right, I agree.
Put on a little chapstick to join you. I have this colored one from Bag Bomb. It's got like a little color.
Oh, that's nice. That's cute. It looks very like retro.
I love
doing it with like such care because
I know.
Because usually I put it all over my face by accident at some point.
Maybe you know what I tend to do? I put on mascara and then I sneeze and it's like friggin' everywhere. So I'm like, I can't be bothered.
And then you just look ridiculous. I'm going to put on some chapstick.
And then I'm mad.
Yeah. Well, anyway, ask us anything, whether it's about our show or about Jeffrey Epstein or about anything.
ICE being able to enter your house without a warrant now.
Oh my God. Like,
not a good time. So if you listen to Fever Dream and you listen to it this morning, our podcast, you know that we are switching up what we're doing or moving to Substack with this particular content because it's more timely. We were recording on Mondays and by Tuesday morning, it was like everything had completely changed. So we just have to be more agile right now. And we're not like evergreen girlies. They kept being like, try and do something evergreen. And I was like, no.
We're going to just talk. We're going to talk shit and speculate on here.
All we can do. But ask questions in the thing. I have to figure out how I can let anybody ask a question because right now it's like paid subscribers only. No, I have to figure this out. I have to change the settings. I'll change it for the next one if I can't change it now. I want to change the settings so anybody can comment.
It seems like I can write a message, but I don't know.
Probably because it's on yours. Yeah. All right. For the next one, maybe can you write on Sammy's and it might show up and you can, because you might get different messages than me.
I haven't gotten any messages.
Okay. I'll change mine so that
we can.
We can. Okay, good. There we go.
Okay.
Laura
So
F. They can text me the question and I'll relay it. Lisa, thank you. Yeah. Next time, I wonder if I can't change it on this one for mine. So we will make sure next week that everybody can comment. But for this week, it's the paid subs only. Ooh, so fancy.
Wait, so can people join if they're not paid subs?
Everybody can watch.
Great. Someone asked what bright spots we're looking forward to for the second half of the year.
I can tell you my bright spot for tomorrow.
What?
I'm getting dental surgery. I have like a tooth, like a weird root canal. It is. Yes, because I'm getting a ghost bone put in my jaw. Like they have like a way where like they pull your tooth and then they like pack it with cadaver bone to like recreate like the stability in your jaw. And then I get braces on the bottom because this has always bothered me. This little tooth has always bothered me. You can't really tell, but I can. It looks like a little off.
I never know. I think it's more like because the camera's like positioned
down. Yeah.
But I never really noticed. Or like,
so I'm getting little braces, and then after I get the braces, you get another tooth put in. So
you get another an implant.
I get another root canal, an implant. Yeah, my one veneer. I'll have a ghost jaw and a veneer, whatever a crown or something over here in a year. Yeah.
So your bright spot for the second half of the year is the dentist.
It is because I like really waited a long time to do it, and like now I have the cash to do it. So I'm like, I'm living in my abundance and the fact that I can afford dental care now.
I get what you're saying,
but I can thanks to the subscribers here. I can. Yeah, they're directly having an impact on my dental.
I get what you're saying in the sense of like, we're grateful that we can do it.
Yeah. So I'm like, good. Because the first dentist was like, oh, this is only going to be like a couple $100 to fix it. And then they did the x-ray and they saw that the jaw was like, something was wrong with it. And they were like, we are so sorry.
Dental work's very expensive.
We are so sorry we gave you that quote. That's not going to be what it is. And I was like, braces. That's not cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the braces I knew would be pricey. If you have a child or you are a child and you have braces right now, please wear your retainer. I had braces as a kid. If I would have just wore the damn retainer twice. And then I have that permanent millennial. They stopped doing this, but I have that millennial wire behind the front teeth.
Do you?
Yeah.
Still?
So they're going to take it out because they're like, actually, we learned that did nothing. So
But
just
I always,
everybody's got that wire.
they didn't give that to me, but I always wondered, like, what's the plan for that? You just keep it until
Nothing.
you die? Like,
Basically, he was like, yes, it's like a sign of your age. Like they stopped doing it because they were like, we thought by putting a wire behind your teeth, it would hold your teeth together. But in fact, it literally does nothing. And so they're going to
wow.
take it
Oh my
out.
gosh. I
But
can't
so
believe.
everybody who has a permanent retainer, yeah, it's been doing shit for you.
I always thought that was strange. I like
Yeah,
that that's expected to cover for you forever. You know,
that's what I thought.
yeah.
But so now that I have to pay for the braces myself, and braces as an adult are
How
more
long were your
expensive.
braces?
I'm only going to have them for a year this time, but I had them for a long time when I was a kid.
A
So, because my
year.
teeth were jacked, man.
That's
So,
long.
yeah, me and my sister had braces. My brother, perfect teeth. Never had them.
I had
Bastard.
braces, but I didn't really wear my retainer. It
Yeah.
mostly stayed, but I
Yeah.
also got veneers because I
Oh, you did?
unrelated. But
Ooh.
unrelated, I ran into a wall playing. Do you ever play wall ball?
No.
Okay, well, whatever, it's a game. When I was in 4th grade, I just, like, ran into a concrete wall during
Boom.
lunchtime at school, and, my dad was a dentist, so he fixed
That
them, but,
worked.
like, I had this V, like, a V,
Oh, yeah.
an upside down V,
See? So you got to
and
get
so
veneers.
yeah, so they would break, like,
Mm.
pretty, when it was traumatic, I'd
Yeah,
be,
it
like,
is.
biting into some bread
Teeth
at,
stuff is traumatic. It's
at the
very
Cheesecake
sensitive.
Factory with, like, a
Yeah.
guy I like and a bye,
Nope. There
so
goes
it
my
was a
tooth.
lot.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm
yeah.
glad you got it
But the
fixed.
veneers are expensive too,
What do you
although
think
it's
about
probably worth it.
veneers? So many kids are getting veneers now. They're like in their 20s. They have healthy teeth. They're getting
Mhm.
composite veneers in like Brazil or Turkey and places. And sometimes they look
Right, there's a
good,
lot
but
of
how long do they look
travel.
good for?
Well,
You got to
I
get
don't
that shit maintained, no?
my feeling is, like, less work is less is more.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like, they're always perfecting stuff, and
Right.
think about even, like, 5 years ago, everyone was getting fillers, and now everyone looks terrible because their
I
fillers are
don't like
settling
it.
in their
Yeah.
face, and I think allowing yourself to age gracefully, this is what I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to in the second half of the year, aging gracefully and with a positive attitude. Um, the like, the I think when you do more stuff,
Hmm.
you look worse. Like, think about people who started getting plastic surgery
Look like cat
years ago
ladies.
because they were
Hmm.
really, like, rich and they could afford it. It's like, it wasn't ready yet, but, people do look really good, but then I feel like there's this sense of just, like, overwork.
Mm.
People are getting these facelifts, the ponytail facelifts. It's like,
Hmm.
yeah, Lindsay Lohan looks amazing. Kris Jenner looks great, maybe when she's
For
but,
now.
like, do they even like, what do they look like in person with no makeup like me, other
A
than the
lot of
mascara?
these people did not watch Death Becomes Her, and it shows. Okay, you could
Or the
go and you can get the
substance.
elixir, but it's not gonna last. And
Right,
that is the
right,
moral of the story. Something's gonna chip or break, and it's gonna be awful.
right. Like, I kind of think the answer and my grandmother was, like, very much like this, and she, by the way, had braces at my mom's wedding, so she didn't smile in any of the pictures. So, but she whatever. But her whole thing was, like, sunscreen, no
Yep.
sun, and,
Yes.
like, just kinda stay healthy, be
Yep.
active. And I honestly think that you will look your best if you just kind of try to not age biologically or just, like,
Yeah.
age with your age. Like,
Yeah. Just
there's
go
enough
how it feels.
advancements now that people look better and age better, and I do Botox, but, like,
I've never
not
done any
a
of that. I
lot.
do get facial though. I get the jet facial like once a quarter. It's like that. I
Yeah,
like
like
that. Just feels fresh. Jen is
yeah.
in here. Jen is saying age 49, no work. Also never wear makeup. So good.
Yeah, do what you wanna do. I
I used
try
to
not
wear
to wear makeup unless I'm
so
going
much
somewhere.
makeup.
What?
I had like millennial face. We were doing like a full beat in 2009, like 24 hours a
Yes,
day. And then me and my friend
lot of
Sandry
eyeliner.
used to sleep in our makeup because it was like so expensive. And we'd be like, we got to get 2 days out of this.
It
And
also
so
looks
like
better,
when
like,
I think about the
so
things I did, I'm like, and then one day I just like stopped wearing makeup because I was like, this is too much. I can't keep up with this.
it's like I don't wanna have stuff on my face all the time. I want it
Yeah.
to be clear as
Yeah.
much as unless I need to have it on for something. And
Yeah,
even
me and
then,
Sammy are part of the clean girl aesthetic now. Now we're
it's not even like the clean girl aesthetic. It's just like, it's not an aesthetic. It's just, I don't
Are they
want to
still
put shit
even
on my face.
saying that? Are they saying that anymore where everything is a mob wife aesthetic, clean girl aesthetic, Labubu aesthetic? I don't think so. I think they gave it up. They were going
Probably.
through trends too quickly.
Yeah, now we've slowed down, sign of the recession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, true. Recession indicators. Speaking of
Maybe.
recession,
Yeah.
the June numbers are out. You read
Inflation.
that article. Yeah. What happened with that? Inflation's up. I can
Inflation's
feel it.
up.
Yep.
It's, yeah, I think
It's the
that's
higher because Biden had it down a little bit. Not that he would, I'm not trying to compare here, but like
well,
inflation's still going up because of the
okay.
tariffs.
The economy was like not great
Repairing.
around the pandemic.
Right.
They're they're recalibrating it slowly. It probably would be wonderful if Trump didn't do this whole tariff thing. And now it's like he's propping up the market, but my long-term prospects for I'm not an economist. Don't seem great.
Because he's going to
Also
short the
doing
bond
things
market
like,
or something, right?
yeah, the value of the dollar has fallen quite a bit.
Mm.
The other thing that I find particularly disturbing is that so he sent all these tariff letters.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be higher tariffs on August 1st unless he tacos
Tacos
again.
out. Yeah.
But one of the letters was to Brazil, which was like, you are going to have 50% tariffs unless you drop the case against Jair Bolsonaro. And, it's a witch
Friend
hunt,
of
blah, blah, blah.
Florida,
And it's like,
Bolsonaro.
we actually have a trade surplus with Brazil. Why are you antagonizing them?
Right.
And also, think about long term. How does this make people feel? Like you're going to use this to bail out your friend who tried to steal an election also? Like that is
Mm-hmm.
so dysfunctional and just
So
I think it hasn't
stupid.
set in for people like what the long-term economic circumstances are.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It seems like wealthy people are just and like investors are propping the markets
Feels
up
very
sort
like
of.
a dot-com bubble, very housing bubble, very like
I mean,
they're just going to blow it out.
over time, if the vast majority, if everyone except 10% of Americans can't afford anything,
Yeah, what are you going
I
to do?
don't see what do you, right, exactly,
Yeah.
because consumer spending is like 70% of our GDP. So
Mm-hmm.
if how much can the 10% cover?
Yeah. I found this new term, sovereign default. Do you know
Oh
what that
yeah.
is? Can you explain that a little bit?
So it's when your country defaults
On their
on its debts and the value of the dollar, I guess, or your
like
currency.
crashes.
Uh, I don't know if it just like works like it crashes, but there's other implications because we are the world reserve currency. So
Right.
other countries would have to like there'd be a few things in America's case if that were to happen, and I don't want to like stoke fear because I'm not an economist and
I
I'm
just had
not a
learned
consultant.
this
But
word and I
you can
was
get
like, I don't
hyper.
like learning new words.
You're
Sovereign
probably getting.
default, scary.
Where'd you hear it?
Somebody was saying, like, they were like just speculating and they were saying like crazy shit that Trump might try to do because he doesn't understand money. And he may have learned, like, oh, well, if we tried to default on our debt or if we tried to say we weren't going to pay the debt, so many people would have to bail us out. We could probably get away with it. Like that kind of shit. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm just saying, like, there are these weird, stupid conspiracy, escape the matrix, manosphere ideas out there.
No. This is their idea. So think about it like think about what he did with 6 of his companies. Put
Right.
yourself through bankruptcy so
Bankruptcy.
that you
Yep.
can basically have your debts like kind of
Right.
forgiven-ish. If you're him, I don't think it works like this for normal people. But when you have whoever funding you for whatever reasons,
Well, I
um,
think that's what he's saying. I think he thinks, yeah, he
that
could
is what
bankrupt the
he's,
casino
yeah,
that is the United States of America
we're
and
going to
still
be his
somehow
7th
get a
bankruptcy.
loan. Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, like, he'd be fine. Like, he would be like, now we're using Trump crypto. Like,
Oh, yeah, the
that's what
crypto.
I always thought he was gonna do. And that's
Mm,
what Russia's plan has always been to get the US dollar to basically be like,
who
whatever.
cares? We're using
Definitely end
crypto.
basically just do whatever they can to end the dominance of the dollar.
Hmm.
And that's their goal. And, we're on the way.
Hey,
The US treasuries have been downgraded by now every major
Right.
credit rating agency. But it wasn't the last one was like a few months ago. But yeah, that had already happened earlier years even.
I just can't stand this man. He just it's just like endless aggravation. I've never like I couldn't have even conceived that one person could be so stupid and so powerful at the same time. And like it really boggles the mind. Like and then I get annoyed because I know for the rest of history, I won't even escape him because I'll have to teach about him the way I have to teach about like Nixon or any other corrupt politician from the
How
past.
much are
Like
you
he
talking
will,
about Nixon these days?
well, comparatively, like sometimes we're like, we thought Nixon was the worst, and now look where we are. But or that or Hitler, any number of people, I'm like, he's gonna be in the books forever. I'm never going to be able to escape American civics education without, hopefully I'll be able to
Yeah.
say it was in the past and this is how we repaired from it. But we will always look back on that the way we look back on Andrew Jackson and what he did, the way we look back on all kinds of things. We will not escape talking about this man. And
Right.
that
And I
aggravates
think
me too.
we'll be talking about him quite a bit more than we talk about
Oh,
Andrew Jackson.
I
I kind of
know.
wish that more people in this country knew more about Andrew Jackson.
Mm.
I think that's maybe the issue. There wasn't enough talk about Andrew
Okay.
Jackson before.
Let's switch hard turn to a different criminal. Ghislaine Maxwell.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
No segue. No segue. I just
Great, great,
moving to the
great,
next topic
great,
because
great,
I
great.
really want to talk about this one.
Yeah, we
I
need to
did
get
not
there.
know she was
It's 20 minutes
married.
in. You
She
didn't
was
know she was
married.
what?
I had no idea she was married. When she got arrested, she was married.
Oh, she had
Is
like
she still
recently
married?
married
Who
someone.
the fuck marries Ghislaine Maxwell? I was like, she was married.
I mean, that's
To
people have used
who?
marriage for different reasons throughout history. I would
I
say I
know.
would maybe put in one of those categories.
She's
I forgot about
married
that.
to Scott Borgerson, a tech
Right.
millionaire and founder of a maritime analytics company. They were married in 2016, although the relationship came under scrutiny when Epstein was arrested the second time and Maxwell went to jail. They got divorced, I guess. But
I forgot about that.
it's like she got married. It like, and this guy's just out here in the world. Of all the interviews I could get, Ghislaine Maxwell's billionaire ex-husband might be like a good one. Like what did you find attractive about her? Like, how did you put aside so much to like marry her? Like, how did this happen?
Well,
Did
look,
you know?
there's actually a New York Times article. How did Scott
Ooh,
Borgerson get mixed up
there
with
it is.
Ghislaine Maxwell?
Literally the New York Times, the gray
Literally.
lady, the third woman in
August
this chat
11th,
tonight.
2020.
Oh
Do you
my
want me
God.
to
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me what it says.
okay. By the time she was fighting allegations, she had a new boyfriend. His name was Scott Borgerson. According to her friend, um, sometime he's a Navy SEAL, though he was actually a former Coast Guard officer. So,
Wow, okay. Coastie, but
according to
still
her
coasties are
friend,
sweeties. Yeah.
okay, but like, why did you describe him as a Navy SEAL? There's quite a space.
There's a little space there.
Just saying.
He could have been a
I mean,
coastie diver though, and then he could have flipped over to officer. So he probably was pretty high ranking.
we'll
Yeah.
find out. Um, It didn't describe Mr. Mason when this fact came to light. Miss Maxwell had always known her among her friends as a person with singular ability to mythologize her own reality, so suggesting
Okay.
she lied. Um,
Okay.
in an effort to, okay, this makes sense. In an effort to rebrand herself from jet-setting cosmopolitan to oceanic conservationist, in 2012 she founded and appointed herself CEO of the
Right.
Terramar
The
Project,
fake charity that she
fake
founded. Right. Right.
seafaring charity, which was
Mhm.
disbanded in 2019. It had no offices and gave no grants to any organizations other than itself.
It's like Chris
Um,
Jenner's church.
but it helped her maintain social. Well, they have a
Looking
reason. They
good.
save
Yeah.
taxes.
Looking good.
The
Right.
the
Looking
biggest
good.
accomplishment was helping her maintain social capital,
Right.
associating herself with him because he's the founder of a maritime investments company called Cargometrics
Okay.
and a former fellow on the Council on Foreign Relations, which Epstein was on. He wrote about oceanic issues. He was called a director at her project, although he never had a Terramar, though he never had a job there. She
Uh-huh.
supplied him with introductions. Um, when
Wow.
he became
And he's a lot older than her, which
no,
kind of plays into the
she's
daddy
older than
issues.
him.
I thought he was older.
No,
No?
he was 44
Oh,
in
she
2020
is
and she
14
was
years older.
58.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
That tracks.
when he did, she became a subject. Where was she hiding? Let's see speculation turned to him. He didn't respond to Interroot. He denied, no record has been found of any marriage. He denied dating her and saying repeatedly they were friends and that he didn't know where she was. But according to two friends,
Yeah, they had that house in New Hampshire
they
or whatever.
they were sharing. Wait, they began sharing. Okay, in 2016, since 2016, they had been sharing a house in Massachusetts
Uh-huh.
after she sold her townhouse on the Upper East Side in 2016, which was the year that she struck confidential settlements in civil court with
Right.
Virginia Giuffre
Right.
and one other person. I'm not sure who the other person was. Then in December 2019, so after he was arrested
Mm-hmm.
and killed, she
Mm-hmm.
used an anonymous LLC called Granite Reality to buy a mansion in Bedford, New Hampshire in a $1 million all cash deal an hour away from that house.
Mm.
He was recently in 2020, when this was written, August 2020, he was
Mm-hmm.
photographed walking a dog that they say is hers.
Mm-hmm. She had a
Um,
dog? Ugh,
a
she's a
Vizsla,
monster. What kind of dog?
a Vizsla.
What the hell is that?
It's like big, short hair, brown, big
Oh, it's
nose,
pretty dog.
a pretty dog. Yeah. Um,
Hungarian hunting
he
dog. Of course she did. What a psycho.
okay, so according to a 2016 profile, he grew up in rural Missouri. His dad was a Marine infantry official. His mother, blah blah blah, teacher,
Yeah.
high school, Presbyterian.
He
He
seems like
considered
a
becoming a
decent,
priest.
nice guy. Why did he get mixed up with her?
I'm getting there. He had a big chip on his shoulder to beat the Ivy League crowd. That's
Mm,
very Epstein.
that had a place. Mm-hmm.
He enrolled, Tufts, taught history at the Coast Guard. He became a counsel. He was on the Council of Foreign Relations,
Uh-huh.
which is a think tank with like
Right.
big names, and that's where he wrote for a magazine called Foreign Affairs. I've seen that. Um, he got like it seems like he actually was like legit,
Yeah.
and
That's what it seems
then
like. That's what I'm like. How did they get involved here?
conferences.
Like anything else, I guess. They like,
Maybe he
these
was
people
like
are social climbers and they all kind of get mixed up together and
he had a wife who he was married to since 2001 and filed for divorce in 2014. In legal filings, she claimed he drank too much, hit her, and threatened to beat her in front of his children.
she said that. Oh, the wife
Maxwell
said
was
that.
smitten with Mr. Borgerson.
Well, of course, if he allegedly abused women, that's right up her alley. That's her type.
Yeah.
The guy's
Maxwell
name
also
is
described the
Scott. Wait,
relationship.
what's his name? People want to look him up. Scott
Scott Borgerson.
Borgerson. Yeah, Google him.
Borgerson.
Yeah.
Um, the report, he reporters, admonished for peddling gossip in
Admonished.
2014. Um, Many of Miss Maxwell's old friends were surprised to read in reports of court proceedings earlier this summer that she had gotten married.
Mm,
It remains possible either that she was not telling the truth or that her spouse is someone other than Mr. Borgerson.
mm.
Um, a divorce lawyer said it's strange that there could be various explanations. Um,
You know
mm,
what else is crazy? So that's him. I'm bored of him now.
there's more to do here.
I
There's
also
more there.
looked at, like, she has 8 other she's one of 9. She's the youngest of 9.
Where are the other 8
Where
go?
are her other
Are
siblings?
they all with the
Christine
same mother? Like, is
no,
it half?
no. Nope. Different mother
Interesting.
and
So he was
father.
probably, like, much older by the
The dad
time.
was. Yep.
Interesting. He
And
was
he
born in, like, a
died.
shuttle.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
was, but
fell off a yacht.
he, like, scammed his way up. Yeah, he fell off a yacht named the Lady Ghislaine. Then he
Yeah.
was allegedly, like, peeing off the side of the yacht and fell in the water. It's also very mysterious as to how he died because he, stole his workers' pension funds. He was a press baron.
Yeah.
He was like a rival of, the guy who owns
Murdoch.
Fox News, Murdoch. They were
Yeah,
like the same kinda evil guy.
but he reportedly, like, didn't really have, like, the money. It was all smoke and mirrors. I think it kinda is with all these
He's
people.
very
It's some
Trumpian, yeah.
very but
But
also
so
he was reported okay, here's my theory on a lot of this. Because there was, like, and this goes for Scott Borgerson, it goes for the Clintons, it goes for
Mhm.
all, all of them, which is that because of what the substance of Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's work, which I will get to it, what I think that really was in a second. I
Mhm.
think because of that, people needed to continue associating with them because they were already, quote, guilty by association.
Oh,
So it's
so
like, well, if you don't like people are probably scared that if they like
to be like a
disassociate from
target
them,
of the yeah.
they kind of like are vulnerable then. So
Mm.
it's like I'm reading this 2002 or 2002 New York Magazine and actually the 2003 Vanity Fair profile by Vicky Ward, who
Mhm.
became
Oh,
like a
yeah,
big
very good.
reporter in
Mhm.
this. And what it seems like is like the people who were sort of associated with him as being like kind of the ones who might be most culpable for partaking.
Mhm.
Those people are the most like effusive about how brilliant he was in when at a time when there was clearly doubt cast on like who he is, what he's doing. They're like his
Yeah.
brilliant mind, he can think about physics and also art. Like there's like this weird
Oh, the way they did that
mythologizing of
to
him
Epstein? Yeah.
where it's like and you think about how like people treated those types of men, like you need to make them like gods. Like they
Mhm.
can be they see like there's something there like demands infallibility
Mhm.
in order to like maintain this cult of mystique. And like she even kind of describes him as like the Wizard of Oz, which
Yeah.
is true ultimately. And I think what like their job was, and maybe this was partially like Les Wexner's job and probably also Robert Maxwell, is that because these people had some sort of associations with intelligence, and I
Mhm.
believe there's records that like Trump did too, like they're because of who they're involved with, like they are informants,
Mhm.
which gets them immunity in some
Right.
cases of some sort. So they because they're mixed up in those things, they are then like basically able to kind of do what they want and get away with certain things. But like eh, but the people in it who they're like, the victims and the
Swindling.
people
Yeah.
using their services are not like high enough up to kind of like escape culpability. But my sense is that there's like something intelligence related that
Mhm.
had to do with collecting compromise on powerful people. So why would anyone stop them when it's like, kind of like maybe the whole setup with Les Wexner was just to fund
This
this.
whole thing.
Yeah,
Les Wexner ruining my childhood with all of his, Victoria's Secret, The
models.
Limited model was awful. Ohio has really put out some winners. The thing that was there's just so many things I never really thought of Ghislaine Maxwell, like we were talking earlier. I never thought of her as her own person. I always ever just sort of kept her in the context of what she did for Epstein. I never thought of her as her own person. And then when I did the interview with Tara Palmieri last night, she was
I
talking about she
watched
did an
it.
entire podcast on the Maxwell family and Ghislaine and like just how absurd the whole thing was and how bizarre Ghislaine is and that bizarreness fed Epstein's bizarreness, and they just kind of like leveled each other up all the time and constantly affirmed the other absurd one. And they had crazy ideas about like creating surrogacy farms in New Mexico on his land, and like she did participate in the abuse from time to time, they say, and like
No,
she
like
all the time. Like, it was a whole thing. And then you hear, like, her mother is, like, one of the foremost scholars and researchers on the Holocaust, and you're like, "Okay." And her dad
his
was this
dad was born
press
in a
baron
shuttle.
swindler. Yeah, but I'm like, that's a lot going on in one family and to be, connected to this whole thing here. I
Well,
am
that's why I
worried that
think,
she'll
like,
get out.
he was in Robert Maxwell was associated with intelligence, which
Yeah.
is why he
Well, they
could
say it
and
was Mossad or
most
something, right?
honest, but it's never just I think he was, like, Mossad and KGB and CIA.
Sure,
So
why
it's like
not?
but
Yeah, I'll do them all.
you know, yeah, and
Double, triple
or
agent guy, why not?
they all have to, like these things kind of help each other. Like, the
Right.
Mossad and the CIA help each other, and, like,
If you're a snitch all the way, right? If you're gonna be, like, doing recon intelligence over here for one group
yeah,
and you get offered by another group, you're like, "I could probably double my money here. That sounds good."
and
Yeah.
it sounds like he's someone who would do that.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
what I think is, like, when he passed away, because like, they were kind of, like, obsessed with each other,
Yeah.
she, like, kind of inherited some of those connections, and
Mhm.
she, like, restarted some operation, and she did it with
Sure.
Jeffrey Epstein, and part of it was that they, like, pretended to be dating, or, like, maybe he was kinda, like, leading her on because it benefited them, and they're all sort of in thrall to each other because they know what creeps they all are, and, like, when it first started, there was no, like, guarantee that he was, like, not gonna get caught. Like, eventually, he was caught, and who I would love to interview is Michael Reiter, the police chief who really pushed this in Palm
In
Beach.
Miami? Oh, Palm Beach. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because honestly, you said on American Fever Dream, like, why did they, why did they, like, why not in New York? Why didn't they, like,
Right.
find it? And the answer is more like, why did they find it? Because one guy was like, "We gotta,
We're
like,
gonna push
make
this.
this right." Yeah, no, she's very fascinating because there's, like, a whole psychological piece there. But
I'm just looking at the siblings, and they're all kind of like you said, they're all kind of in intelligence, these big think tanks, this whole, like, trying to control massive narratives, Russia, Soviet Union, like, crazy stuff. Because remember, these people are much older, so Robert Maxwell seemingly handed Ghislaine off to Epstein to continue what was going on because he died in, like, 1991. She met Epstein in the early '90s, like, it was a whole thing
not so much, like, handed him off as much as, like, because I think it Wexner came into his life. Bruce, stop doing
in
that.
the '80s.
In, like, late '80s.
Right.
Um, and she came in, like, 1992, you know? Um, so it's like, the maybe they unclear how it kind of worked.
I just got the weirdest text.
But
It's totally separate, but this is how so sometimes we get, like, little tips and things. JD Vance is gonna be in Pennsylvania tomorrow, and he's supposed to be doing some weird event, and they're trying to,
Mhm.
like, see if people can, like, be ready to cover it because 'cause they're like, "He's gonna do something weird," and now, allegedly, confessions about the guy who killed the Democratic Minnesota politicians are coming out that are like I don't know, I gotta read this a little bit more, but there's just
They're trying to find a
so
distraction.
they're definitely trying to find
Look,
distractions because have you seen
they're
Trump
not gonna
react to Ghislaine lately? He's telling the DOJ to tell the Supreme Court not to take her appeal now. He is, like, hard trying to Heisman this away when he was kinda trying to, like, be like, "Well, if we let her out, it proves there's no list." Of course there are lists. Like Tara said on last night's Substack, each one of the women who was trafficked and abused provided a list, provided pictures,
what
provided
is a
all kinds of
list?
things.
We
She said there's no nefarious little list where he scribbled everybody's names on it. There's the black book, there's pictures, there's police
Right.
reports. There are
Well, a
lists
lot of
of
it we
Johns that the women provided that are
yeah,
there. And I was like, "Tara, but if the DOJ has it, can they destroy it?" And she goes, "There's not one copy of all this, but yes, some police departments were forced to hand over the files when it became a federal FBI type thing." And she's
right.
like, "That kind of scares me a little bit, but it's unlikely that they're going to be able to just, like, destroy everything." The
Well, they
problem is
definitely have
they don't want to
everything
go
that
after
he had.
people.
There's definitely everything that he
Right.
had. I honestly think it would implicate so many people. Like, I know this sounds very conspiratorial, and I've heard people say, like, "Oh, they can't do anything about it because this will, like, implicate so many people." But I really think that, like, I don't think that's why they're keeping it quiet, but I think it would. And
Well, even
honestly,
like
I
Trump
think
said, though, he said, "Why are we putting the JFK files
letting
out?"
yeah,
And it's okay. And he was like,
yeah.
"I'm letting the JFK files out because most of the people who were involved are dead now. And when you're
Also,
dealing with a person who still might be alive, they could be falsely accused or have their life ruined, and it
no,
wasn't even their
like, no,
fault." So it's like, okay, so for the
that's
Epstein
not
file to
true.
come out, what do we got to do? Wait until 2040? Like that's 2050? Like how long do you want to
No,
wait?
no. That First of all, if he thinks, like, people are gonna just, like, get bored of this,
Well,
He's
he's
delusional.
got some of those right wingers, like even Charlie Kirk being like, I trust my friends in the government, which is the craziest
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
I've ever
yeah.
heard a
Yeah, okay.
MAGA person say. I thought we hate the government. Now all of a sudden we have friends in the government. Like, y'all don't make any sense.
No, listen. This is not something people, maybe it can like be quiet for a little bit. Maybe people will be like a little bit more, maybe they won't be talking about it every day, but this is the kind of thing that like will keep coming back because there's so many names involved. It's such
Hmm.
it has so many like echoes and ties to other
Hmm.
stuff. And I also think that like he can't help but
He can't help but talk. If you keep asking him, he'll
and
keep giving you more
Elon,
because
it's
he'll
like
give up.
why did Elon has like it's too easy of a shot for people to be able to take at him at any given time.
Do you think that Palantir will shut it down though? Because
Ha- what will
well,
they shut
Epstein
down?
invested in Palantir, right? Or in
In a
PRTL, not
different thing.
Palantir, specifically a different thing, Valor
Well, maybe
Ventures
they
or
want to
whatever. But
use Epstein to like, get- you know,
I don't know. Are they?
as like,
But my thing is like, who are you at? Other people must be getting blackmailed behind the scenes, even if we don't know it, because there are people in power who know the other people in power and they hold it over them, right? The pictures that exist, all these different things that they did to sort of like keep people in mind and keep people continuing to give their money to Epstein to manage, right? There was like a fee to this. And so I think, like, is Elon controlled in some way? Is he controlling other people in some way? He continues to kind of like come out and try to threaten folks. I think there's so much we don't know that's like interesting to think about, but also like so just fucking sad and so depressing and like aggravating that we'll
that's why
probably
I
never
focus on
know.
the perpetrators. Like,
Yeah.
like if all that's known, if all that happened ever is what's known, like
Hmm.
it's bad enough,
Still bad. Hmm.
and it's insane when you think
Hmm.
about like when you actually think about it. And I think what's like, there's so many pieces of this that I actually think it's like very bipartisan
Hmm.
because this like protection that they have for each
Oh yeah.
other is
Hmm.
really depraved and it covers
Hmm.
for really depraved behavior. And it just shows that like if they'll do this and they'll cover for people and they'll hide this, like there's nothing they won't hide.
Hmm.
And it it's like if you can't even defend the idea that, presidents or ex-presidents or whatever should not have slept with people who are under,
Children.
yeah,
Children. They're
children.
called
Like
children. Yeah.
if the accusations that are out there are true, like we have a problem.
Mhm.
And I don't care if Charlie Kirk heard that, like, we're not talking about this today. And like Laura Ingram's like, let's talk about other
I
stuff.
don't think it could
Yeah,
go
I
away.
don't care.
Yeah.
Like
I hope not.
people care because it stands for something bigger. And
It's our biggest
they fucking
fear.
fed it. It's like you
Yes.
fed it for years.
Hmm.
Like, also, who was president when Jeffrey Epstein died in prison?
Who was president when Virginia Giuffre killed herself also, which Tara said specifically that is not a conspiracy theory. She did take her own life, but was Trump
That's
becoming
right.
president part of it? Certainly. There's a lot of like despair that comes from the
Right.
circumstances that she was in and the future that she no longer saw as possible of getting any kind of justice and being continually harassed.
Right. And like,
I feel bad for that woman. I mean, she truly
yeah,
American hero, like really so brave and so consistently brave and held on hope for so long that people would do the right thing and they just didn't. And that sucks. And I hope that she does find peace in where she is now. But it's like, man, what a failure on so many fronts. And like there's the Johns and there's all the people who had power and did bad stuff. And then there's the question of like the folks who were around who knew that bad stuff was happening and sort of normalized it or benefited from it and continued to stay silent. And I think about that chef, Adam Perry Lang, who went to work, he went from Epstein to Mario Batali to working at the Penthouse strip club as a chef. And then he opened his own restaurant and barbecue in Los Angeles where it was a, heavy celebrity spot. And like coming from the chef world, I'm like, yeah. And in each one of those cases, like if you look at Epstein had Ghislaine Maxwell, Mario Batali had Chef April Bloom. There's always a woman involved too who normalizes the idea that like you're just being weird because if it was bad, I wouldn't be here. And they get away with it too. And it's like,
well, it's like I don't know if it's like they're the ones who are saying it's being weird, but they use those women to normalize
oh,
things, and those women think I can get myself out of it or like
yep.
proximity. And I
No,
imagine there's
some of
like
those women hate
overwhelming
women.
cognitive dissonance.
some of those women hate women and they think like, well,
Yeah.
I went through it and it was fine for me. And like, you should have to deal with this. And like, you're stupid if you got caught up with chef. Like, you're just stupid. And like, what? There's a lot
Well,
of
the
women who
bigger
hate
issue,
women in the
why
culinary world. I met many of them.
why are so many, like, why this comes to like a bigger issue, which is like,
Mm-hmm.
why is antisocial behavior so rewarded
Mm,
or not like considered unacceptable?
mm-hmm.
It's like this is out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what like I can't get behind. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they're like this level of abuse should just be like we don't associate, you know? And I understand that
And
I
I
guess
think
there are
that's
people
coming.
who
I think that's coming. I think we see a lot less of this power structure that maybe up through millennials really heavily endured and Gen Z won't tolerate. And so there's a little bit there that's helpful. They're mean in a different way, but they're definitely more quick to identify and call out and hold accountable or cancel people who would do things like that. I haven't met a Gen
yeah.
Z chef that's like a Vitali or even like any of the abusive chefs I had before that weren't sexually abusive, but were mentally abusive, or even the women who were abusive. It's like,
I mean,
there's less drug abuse, less alcohol abuse. There's a lot less stuff like that.
of course, but like what we're talking about here is like Diddy level.
Diddy
Like
level,
like the
systemic,
fact that it's
enterprise
like
level.
or
Yeah.
enterprise level abuse is
Crime. Yeah.
Harvey Weinstein. Like
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
enterprise level abuse is a great ELA. We should
Mm-hmm.
coin that, you know, that because
Yeah.
that is what it is. There's
Yeah.
like, there's the difference between like, okay, someone, you know,
Did something bad.
does
Mm-hmm.
something and they're like, not like, no one's like, yeah, you should keep doing that. Like, no
Mm-hmm.
one, people aren't really covering for them. Like, they get in trouble or
Right.
whatever. That feels like, okay, that's just like the normal human way of things. But like, this is organized crime. Like that just
The thing that fucked me up about the chef, Epstein chef, Adam Perry Lang, was that he would make them a little snack for after. And I
oh,
hate
I read
that.
something that was like they would have like cereal and milk.
I hate that because, like, okay, totally different scale, but making people food is something you do because you love them, right? And you want to help, and your cooking is serving, and there's a very high trust factor to the people who cook you and serve your food, and you have to trust them that they won't poison you, that they wash their hands, all kinds of things.
Yeah.
There's a level of trust that restaurants and chefs
Hospitality.
have. There's a level that we have that you really have to take that as a responsibility. And for him to be in this house and around this situation, and even Virginia Giuffre say, the thing I liked about him is even when I was standing in front of him buck naked, he would look me in the face. And it was like, and then he would make her like a little snack after she was abused. And I'm like, you knew, because the whole time that she was there in the other part of the house, you were making her, I'm sorry, French fries, we used to call them, which is like when we would put fries up for the waiters at the end of the night because we were assholes to them on the line because
Uh,
you get yelly and shouty. You never abused them, but you're like, get out of my
not
kitchen. Oh
that's
my
not
God, shit's going
enterprise
so
level
fast.
abuse.
No, but I'm saying I know what that feels like to be like, oh man, I was yelling at Nicole a lot today because she kept fucking putting the
Yeah,
orders wrong. I'm going to put up some chicken fingers and fries for her and be like, get out of my face. I'm sorry I was a jerk tonight. I know what that feels like to do apology fries and everybody. And that's sort of the way that it is. But for
right.
him to know she was being violently, terribly abused and then to be like, I made you a little snack. You knew better, Adam. You should have been the guy. You were the guy. Like,
It's also
you
like,
already
okay,
felt bad. You were already
let's say,
making her a little
okay,
snack.
but let's say he had some. Well, because my theory is that like the way he was able to maintain this was not just through like, oh, people like me, so they just won't tell. Like, I think that he utilized, like, I
No,
think he was scarier.
he
And
used
this
people's
goes,
ambition.
or
Adam
not
wanted
even
to
him,
be a James
yes,
Beard star, and Epstein promised him he would get him
right.
there, and he did,
Or
right?
like
He handed him off to
compromising,
Vitali.
or like there's others, there's a sense of like grooming the people around them to like
Sure.
compromise them to the point where it's like, oh, well, if you say anything, like I'll blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But those people, like, you could just like get a different job. Like, and at some point it's like, okay, I will stay here and take the ambitious ride
Mhm.
and not say anything. Like, or walk, rather than
He
just like walk away.
he
Because I'm
picks
sure they're like, if
people
you
who
tell
have
I'm gonna
narrow
destroy
careers.
you, and he believes it.
Right. he picked people who have narrow careers and limited options, right? So he picked people who wanted to be culinary. He picked people who wanted to be musicians. When you go into those fields, you
Models.
are trained to put up with an awesome amount of abuse and to do what rich people want, because that's how you get the next job. If you want to be a high-end chef, you want to be a musician, you want to be whatever these people wanted to be. The other thing that Epstein did was hire undocumented or foreign workers so that he could hold over them all the work visas and all the other things. So then those people felt like they couldn't do anything because they were completely controlled. Like we said,
Someone else
enterprise
who
level
goes like
abuse.
that.
He thought of it all the way through. And that's the like, I'm like, but with no repercussions and no regulations and no changes in laws, could this happen again?
I mean, I think it happens a lot, but
Probably happening right
we don't
now on some level. Yeah.
think about what who left Twitter when a certain person bought it.
Right.
I want to just point out, I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget. What I think there was sort of this, like, based on these profiles I'm reading, like older ones from even before he was even arrested
Mm-hmm.
the first time. So it's like getting a sense of like what was he like to people then? Like
Mm-hmm.
how did people talk about him? And my feeling is that there was this sort of like grooming legitimation process
Mm-hmm.
where like he was seemed to be very enigmatic and to pick up a lot of like call them validators where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so people don't really know what he does, but he seems to be hanging out with, the Rockefellers and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I guess he's okay. And those people don't know that he's doing anything wrong
Mm-hmm.
technically, because also there's no social media.
Right.
And something that is notable is that in these like early 2000s, he became prominent because Bill Clinton went on like this trip with him
Mm-hmm.
to Africa to like work on HIV. So like the way that he like legitimized himself got him too close to the sun
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't really want to be like known. He wanted to stay private so that like no one could really put the pieces together. So like
Yeah.
he's hanging out with like the Rockefeller who thinks he's like fine because he's legit,
Mm-hmm.
but the other people he's like abusing they don't
They
talk
don't
to
cross
those
over.
people.
Yeah. Right.
Or like someone thinks he's weird. So Ghislaine served this function of like getting him very socialized with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why she was like at the Clintons' wedding because like
Yeah.
she was sort of like people really liked her. And she had just like this very social personality. So it's like he dated her, but like people aren't
That was
clear.
a cover. Yeah, that was a
It was
cover.
like
Well, how
there's
can I
like
be a
this.
pedophile when Ghislaine Maxwell is my girlfriend? Yeah,
Yeah. And he
right.
had two other girlfriends, like
Mhm,
supposed. So it's like, what did he trade that in? Or was it like that sort of like an abuse Cassie type of situation where it's
right.
like she just can't say, and the way that he sort of like groomed himself into normal society
Mhm,
before social media and before
mhm,
everything was photographed, he didn't go out a lot. Like he didn't, do
mhm,
much. It was just like she gave him this cover, his philanthropy and his involvement with like, and it seemed by all accounts he was like pretty smart. Okay. That like gave them this shine. And by the time people like realized and things were like public,
mhm.
it, you know,
The most
then
eccentric man in the
then he got
world, so
arrested.
interesting, all this stuff, has an
Yeah.
island, yeah,
You know how yesterday on the show on American Fever Dream, I said that the house, they fell out over real estate. So that
right.
happened in 2004. And the way that it happened was that
Trump and
Epstein,
Epstein fell out
Trump and
over
Epstein
yeah, right.
over real estate. But this is what's interesting. So Trump uh, Epstein thought that like Trump, he called him enumerate, meaning like illiterate, but with numbers. But he thought he was a
Mhm,
really good contractor and he wanted to buy this house in Palm Beach, but he wanted to move the pool. And this was Les Wexner's former house. But he brings
right,
Trump to like talk to him about like how to like move the pool. He wanted his advice. So Trump gets there, he likes it, and he tries to now buy it.
of
And
course,
but
yeah,
Epstein knows he doesn't have any money.
right.
So he is trying to like strong arm the house away from him, whatever. Then Trump comes up with the money, and Epstein thinks that the money he's fronting for what must have been the Russian mob because 4 years later he
Sure,
sells
yeah,
it for double the price for $95 million.
yeah,
So that was that. And then the next year was when Epstein was arrested. or, for his first round of
First.
justice. So Epstein was Michael Wolff seems to suggest that Epstein might have been like actually afraid of Trump because he felt like once they fell out, that's when he actually like got in trouble.
Well, he is such a wild card, and Trump has such loose lips about everything. I'm sure he did try to
I mean,
stab
Trump
him in the back if he thought he got stabbed in the back over this thing, especially a real estate thing. He's so like touchy about that.
Google Trump, Google Trump and FBI informant. Like they were very competitive, the two of them. Like they competed over women, they competed over houses, like there's a lot of stories about how they would like compete over women or like, try to get the same person.
The thing that we didn't talk about was that both Epstein and Trump had a common idol in John Casablancas.
I didn't know that.
John Casablancas, who ran the pageant circuits, access to all these young women. And that's when he met John Casablancas and saw how he had like all these pageants and everything, he was like, I'm going to start a pageant so I have access to all these girls. And we've seen those videos where he says, I get to walk in the dressing room because I own the pageant and I'm this and that and the other. And then Trump had the modeling agency for a while, don't forget, where he had like 6 girls or 13 girls staying in a room.
Yeah.
And was like charging them rent and charging them management fees. They weren't making any money. He was essentially like trafficking models because they were doing work, but they could never make any money because he was the manager of them.
They would like make you pay. Like, I think that was like a very common way that
importing, and he specialized in international women, right? Because that's easier to control than American women, I'm sure, in the way that he was trying to abuse them and whatnot. But both Epstein and Trump came up with like pageants after they had met John Casablancas.
I think Michael Wolff said that Jeffrey Epstein told him that Melania and Trump had sex on the Lolita Express for the.
Oh, I don't doubt it, right? Yeah. Melania she's the hardest working girl I've ever known.
Wait, but you know what's interesting is that, you know how he's threatening Rosie O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Okay, citizenship. So his original feud with Rosie O'Donnell started because she made fun of him when he owned the Miss USA brand for declaring that a pageant winner would be allowed to retain her title despite a scandal around her substance abuse. O'Donnell sarcastically declared he's the moral authority, listing off Trump's past infidelities and business struggles, concluded with today's spin, my friend. Yeah.
He cannot be embarrassed. That's the thing. Yeah. That's why they say he ran for president, because he was at the White House Correspondents' Dinner when they were making fun of him in front of Obama, and he was like, mm-mm.
Maybe like yes and no, because he wanted to run for president in the 80s. He's like Joe
Russia
Biden.
wanted him to run for president in the 80s.
What?
Russia wanted him to run for president in the 80s. Yeah,
but they flattered him into that. But also, Joe Biden wanted to run for president in the 80s. True. You know what's so funny about those two? They're like mirror images of each other in a way.
They are sort of the good and bad side of it.
Like when you have a big ego.
Similarly ambitious and insecure, yeah.
Right, like when you have a big ego, you can kind of go one or two ways.
And Joe Biden went the Boy Scout ice cream way, and Trump went the Epstein pageant owner way, yeah.
Yeah, but like it still simmers through, yeah. Mm-hmm. It's very, but the ego catches up eventually, and all of a sudden
and here we are
debating on the stage, and Trump can't even believe how bad it is.
I know. I wonder what life will be like when the bad boomers are age out of the way.
That's
and I say that specifically because there are so many boomers who have done so many amazing things in like the world and are wonderful people. And then there's the other half of your class who are fucking awful. But it's like boomers come in 2 flavors: exceptional, wonderful, innovative, or horrible. There's no middle. It's like all narcissistic, crazy parents or the sweetest people you ever met. There's no middle.
You know what I think? Like, I really believe that a lot of it comes down to like norms and what's socially acceptable. And it's like, if you have all these people telling you like, yeah, you be racist, like you just speak your mind, right? There's no piece that's like, okay, maybe you should be able to say whatever you want because it's a free country. But why do you have to be such an asshole?
Why do you gotta say such mean stuff? Like, what about you?
Why you gotta be so mean?
Ugly?
It's like
don't be so ugly. Yeah,
right. It's like there's a piece of it. It's like, okay, what I have kind of labeled it as is, maybe we've discussed this, because I can. It's
Yeah.
like when your whole orientation towards the world is like you do things because you can, like that is just a very immature way and very greedy and egotistical way of going about things. And if that's like how everyone thinks about everything, then you just have the worst people ratcheting up terrible behavior all the time.
All the time. I was trying to look at Trump's enemies list, and it just lists all the political enemies, but I feel like there must be other people like down the line that he doesn't like or that he's gonna go after.
Like,
Mm.
like, what do you mean?
Where
Like
is their mother
Bruce
exactly? Who
Springsteen?
raised these people?
Right, who raised you? But again, like, it's not just it takes a village. Like, it takes an algorithm. Like,
Mhm.
the I
Well, they
really
grew up in
believe
the period of greatest prosperity, and so it's like some people took that and knew what a gift that was and wanted to, like, do something good about that, and some people took that and were like, "I'm gonna pull the ladder up behind me."
yes, but
The
also,
yuppie
like,
versus hippie culture. Yeah.
yes, but I also think there is a degree of, like, socialization of, like, what is 'cause if that were like, "Oh, we don't do that because it's, like, selfish."
Right.
There's cultural pieces to this that I
Mhm.
think can be changed, and I think that, like, the phones and, like, the
Well,
algorithm
I
and, like,
wonder
there's no,
how
like,
that's gonna
connection
be.
with, like, another person.
How will that be for Gen Z too? Because they have such a homogenous culture, much more,
I mean,
mostly
they have prob
because,
like,
well, and it's not, I'm not, again, this is like
no
nobody's fault, but
offense.
they
There
do
are
have a
some great
more,
Gen Zs, though. Like, the thing is, like,
sure. But the
usually they
overall,
have
we're
older.
talking in broad strokes of, well, I hope Deja Fox wins her thing today. I'm like all
Oh,
for the
that's
Gen
so
Zs.
soon.
It's
It's
so soon. We might even get
2
it tonight.
hours.
But
We
the
I would
homogenous culture of Gen Z is tricky because of social media and because they are so photographed and videoed so constantly that they're always sort of like imitating each other. It's why when you look at like sci-fi horror fiction, the people always dress exactly the same. And that's because of this
yeah,
homogenization of like having a certain sort of utilitarian uniform so that everything is exactly the same so that nobody can be othered. And it's like sometimes I worry about that with them, and they do sort of tend to like their culture tends to be, like I said, it's pretty
flat.
homogenous, flat. And millennials were sort of like it's stupidly hopeful in many ways. I feel like I constantly was taught to like look for the bright side, be pretty, like do
Yeah.
bright colors.
Well, here's the
So
thing,
like
like,
we had to be creative because we didn't have stores where you were micro trended. You might see something in a magazine or on a TV
well,
show. I remember watching like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and then trying to put together Buffy's outfit for the next day at school. But I had to use like me and my sister's clothes to do it. So I was like, oh, she wore like a black leather skirt. Do we have anything that kind of looks like that? I'm going to wear that to school tomorrow. Now
I
you can
honestly
buy
think
that on Amazon. You could just get the exact outfit. You don't have to try.
I honestly think we are better off. Like, I think that
Yeah.
we were raised in a sweet spot of
It was a good spot, the 90s, because we had access to stuff and a lot of entertainment and a lot of innovation, and we learned how to do computers and whatnot, but we still had an offline experience. But
and
I
we were
do
raised
miss,
when America was on the rise.
right, I do miss the creativity, the forced creativity of our boredom, which
Yes.
was like, go make up a dance with your cousins and then show it to the whole family later tonight because
Yeah.
I'm not talking to you. Go play outside type thing, you know?
Again, I'm telling you, wireless weekend mornings. We need to
Yeah,
do
we
wireless
got to
weekend
do it.
mornings. Like just what I've been doing is just getting look, it's not like totally wireless. Like I look at my phone a little bit and then I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go read or I'm gonna go like, do something. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna just need to get off the phone because I think that someone says us millennials are so
we
damn lucky.
were.
And like you are so right, and we
We're
are.
so
Look,
lucky.
we're so
We're
I made up a dance to
sorry to
that song as
cry.
a child,
Oh, I
but
did too. Yes.
I think when we are look, when
What the fuck do I know?
all the people are gone, like someone's gonna have to propose some solutions, and we're gonna be there.
It's
The
gonna be us.
millennials.
It's the
It's gonna
Amanda
be us.
Littman book, When We're in Charge. Go read it now. It will
Yes.
prepare you to make this transition from like
Yes.
optimistic stargazer to action taker as a millennial.
It's like not it's look, it's what are we supposed to do at this point?
Well, that's the
Other
thing.
than
Sometimes I think,
try.
what am I going to do? Right? Nobody's allowing me to do anything, but eventually they're going to make you do stuff. So you should be prepared for that. It's us, baby.
Listen, 1989, other than myself, has some amazing, like really just like the most not groundbreaking people. Taylor
It's
Swift,
good.
Travis
Yeah.
Kelce,
Yeah.
AOC.
Hmm.
There's many more.
We're rocking out.
Um,
I'm
Who else
82,
is our
so I'm like
age?
on the edge.
Alex
I'm like even
Edelman.
older. Yeah.
There's like more athletes. They're all escaping me now.
1986, wonderful year. My
1986 is a
wife,
good year.
Lady
What year is
Gaga,
everyone
so many
born in the
people.
chat? Let us
Yeah,
know.
what years were you born? Let us know. Let us know who's here.
Yeah,
I
1989
loved
is an
being
amazing.
growing up in the 90s. I think was really quite special. And now when my wife and I want to relax and put down the phone, we watch shows from that time. So we like rewatched Greek, Heart of Dixie. Um, what else did we watch? Josie and the Pussycats, Spice
Oh, I
World,
recently rewatched that.
Saved, Drop Dead Gorgeous, like But I'm a Cheerleader, all those movies from back then that were so fun.
Wait, I have more people. 1990.
1990.
1990. Wait, I have this is the list of 1989ers. It's actually astounding.
Okay.
Daniel Radcliffe,
Oh,
Avicii, Lily Collins, Alex Morgan, the soccer player, Lizzie Olsen, Joe Jonas,
no, Boggs, stay with us.
Trixie
You
Mattel.
graduated. He says, I graduated from college in 86. Perfect.
No, you can
Stay with us.
stay. You can
We
stay.
need
You can
you.
stay. Uh, the founder of Bumble, Quinta
Oh,
Brunson, Candace Owens. Candace
iconic.
Owens.
Great.
See, here's the thing. It's
There
like
has
there
to be good
are.
met Gen X. Good. You guys took care of the millennials when our parents abandoned us.
I
I had a
honestly
Gen
think
X cousin.
Gen X is actually like pretty lower
They're
Gen
pretty cool.
X. Pretty cool.
Lower Gen X is pretty cool. They go either elder millennial Gen X or boomer Gen X, and they tend to be a little bit meaner. I had a Gen X cousin who was 2.5 years older than me, and she really took care of me. Like she fairly raised
Yeah.
me, and I really appreciate her. She was like good Gen X.
Like Gen X had the like best experience of offline
School
life
music.
available.
Hmm.
Like the fact
They
that they
just
could
didn't
just
have parents that took care of them, so there's a little different.
but there
Foundational
was like
security missing.
right, like I think we had like a perfect sweet spot of like you could
Yes.
walk down the street alone, but you
Yep.
also like didn't like you weren't
Yeah. Gen X
kidnappable
dealt with a
maybe.
lot more kidnapping and quicksand than we did.
Do
By
they
the
have
time we came
quicksand?
around, we didn't have as many
Look,
serial
they
killers.
should have raised us to be more afraid of Jeffrey Epstein's island and less afraid of like the Bermuda
No, they were
Triangle.
raising us that it was cool to have an older boyfriend. When I was 17, my boyfriend was 22. What the hell was I doing?
I mean, that's like not, I mean,
It was very common.
yeah. I mean, okay, look, the difference
And
is
first of all, when I
that it
say
wasn't
boyfriend, his
like
name was Mike, and we worked at the friggin' coffee shop together, and we barely held hands because I was very gay. But
the
he
thing
was my boyfriend.
is that wasn't enterprise level.
No, but it wasn't.
Um,
It was much more normalized
Also
than
17
I
is
would ever
like
let that
the age
happen
of
now.
that's the age of consent.
Yeah, it's legal in Connecticut, but it's
If
still a little.
you're
I think if my 17-year-old came home and told me I've got a 22-year-old boyfriend who never went to college and works at a coffee shop with you,
oh
I'd be
no.
like, maybe we aim a little higher, buddy. Maybe
Yeah.
we try a little harder.
But we were told you need a boyfriend.
Oh, yeah, you had. Well,
Oh,
my mom was giving my number out to people all the
yeah.
time. I was so aggravated by this.
We had
A
landline
house
phones for
phone.
connection and very limited screen time because we had to buy
You had to pay for
AOL
the
minutes.
minutes.
This shaped
Yeah,
us. Yeah, AOL
yeah.
came on a CD.
Yep, that's great.
What was your screen name?
Mine, I had several. My
I
first
had
one was
several too.
Amneris 13. I also had
Okay.
pickles for lunch because that's what I ate because I was
I had a
very
lot too.
skinny.
They were so embarrassing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
many.
I
I had
love
like
Tennis 89.
DMB, Dave Matthews Band, something one time.
Pure Perfection 41.
Oh yeah, all that.
I've kicked
I'm
my perfection
sure.
so
I'm
much.
sure I had like a capital X, lowercase X, kittens X, but
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. I'm sure I had.
I landed on San
I
Diane
remember you had to go.
404.
That's a good one. But I remember I used to have to go to my dad to tell him I was going to change my screen name, and you could change it as many times as you wanted. But I didn't
Yeah.
have the confidence to change it as many times as I wanted. So I'd really have to think: do I want to tell my dad this is what I want my screen
Oh no,
name to
you had to
be?
change. It was like no, it was annoying to change it. It was
It
like a
was
thing.
annoying, but you could change it, and he'd
But
be
it
like,
was
so
like
I'd have to really want it when it was time to change it.
you had to tell everyone your new SN.
Wait, Marcy is saying, Gen X here. My mom told me when I was 17 that she wanted to be a young grandmother. I still do not have kids.
Yeah.
Marcy, good.
We also were like the first generation that actually like kind of gets to choose if you want.
Yeah,
Like
we were.
where it's like you can kind of choose if you want to. We're like
Well, they
being
were.
single is like kind of like okay,
It's
like it's
cool.
there's an
They were
empowering
very
angle.
liberal with birth control for most millennials. I know a lot of people
Yeah,
didn't, but
we
I
had
think more
condoms
than
in our
any other
school.
generation, condoms, sex education, birth control, and this like constant telling you that if you got pregnant as a teenager, your life would be over. It was like the
Also
idea of
for
teen
later
pregnancy was the end.
Also for younger millennials, like, they could be out in high school.
Well, for
Younger
you're
millenn
younger. Yeah,
younger.
I was like, I couldn't.
No, no,
Young
no.
millennials.
Honestly, I think even, like, my age was, like, a little was, like, a
Was on the edge.
there were, like, the edge, but I think for, like, 5 years younger is, like, yeah.
About 6 years, 5, 6 years younger than me started to be okay-ish. It was, like,
Yeah.
rare.
That was, like, when I
Rare,
was in
but
high
not
school.
not
Yeah.
you're not going to conversion therapy. Rare,
Right,
but
right.
yeah. And then, yeah, 10 years younger than me, it was like, "Whoa," we're like, oh, super accepting, and
We
there's a lot
also
of
had gay
resources.
teachers in high school
Oh,
who
see,
were
we
out.
didn't. Oh, no, we had them, but they were like, "Oh, they're just a bachelor."
Oh, no,
No,
like, they were, like, openly
out.
out and had, like, partners.
No, we
And I
never
think
did
that that
that.
was actually, like, very I think, honestly, like, I feel like I went to, like, a perfect, like, perfectly liberal school, like, they had
Mhm.
condoms in the bowl in the nurse's office.
Yeah.
So it was never, like,
Why the
taboo.
fishbowl of condoms? Why didn't they have any other kind of bowl? It was always like a bowl of condoms.
Yeah, it's always a bowl.
It
I
was
guess
never like a box
maybe
or
they
like
wanna
a,
put, like,
"Let me
some
know if you
shame on
want
it.
some." I don't know, they tried to make it whimsical. They were like, "It's gonna be a fishbowl.
Right, right. Oh, it's like trick or
Please
treating.
take one."
Yeah, yeah. Well, with one thing I do think with Gen Z maybe is that there isn't as much appreciation that you couldn't just be out or that
Oh,
it was, like,
no.
remarkable at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
that was, like, a thing. Like, it wasn't just, like, a given.
We also stuck with partner especially as gay people, because there were so few gay people. If you met somebody and they were gay too and you were together, you were more likely to try and stay together because it was like there wasn't a lot of people to
We're
date.
seeing that in the ultimatum.
And that yes, and now I see there's so much choice, especially with online dating, that I'm like, gosh, I'm glad I skipped that, because I don't have the confidence to worry that, like, I would be trying to date, but you're, like, also kinda, like, on the internet. Like, I don't think I would have handled that. I mean, I guess everybody has their own cross to bear, but
Yeah. I mean, I had, like online dating was, like well, okay, it was, like, Tinder came out when I was 1 year out of college. So, it was, like still had, like, a
more
little
market.
stigma,
Yeah.
but it wasn't but it was, like, getting more normalized.
This is when we would say we met somebody through a mutual friend. We
Oh,
wouldn't
like,
say
you would
Tinder, we
still
would say I met through a mutual friend. I never dated
Oh.
on Tinder, but this is how, like, my friends would talk to me
See, yeah, no, it would never be, like, unacceptable for me as, like, an
to say
adult to
that.
have said you I mean, like, maybe when, like, it first
Yeah.
maybe, yeah. So, I don't know.
I love it. I love the ultimatum.
I
I
know,
wish all of you well. Best of luck in your dating and in your developing personalities and
truly.
in, navigating conflict. A lot of you didn't get punched in the face in high school, and it shows. And, like, there
We
was
don't
we
advocate
used to have
we don't
well,
condone
I don't
violence.
advocate violence, I'm just saying I personally learned a lot from being punched in the face in high
Punched
school.
in the
I've
face
never talked that
metaphorically.
back again. Yeah,
You know what
no,
it
we
is?
used to have fights in high school. I feel like
Oh, we did.
millennials saw fights in the hallways all the time. People were
Not that
always
much.
hitting each other. Oh, in my school, they were always hitting each other, which
This
I
is
think is like
Long
a sign of
Island.
lack of community. Oh, no, I was in, like,
Jews on
the
Long Yeah.
slums of Connecticut.
No,
Slums,
this
not
wasn't
the
like
slums,
that.
but
This was also
yeah,
people were no, this wasn't like it wasn't like that wasn't very common, but it wasn't impossible.
yeah.
And also,
No.
like, it was just it was like a
Did I
little
ever tell you
topic.
about the time I got punched in the face, how it worked out? Alright, let
Yeah,
me
you
make
did.
this your
You
bedtime
did tell me
story.
this. You did tell me this.
Yeah,
No, I'm
but
not going to bed. I'm going to do the morning announcements.
I had to make a decision
Everyone should
on how I
subscribe
was
if
gonna
you're unfamiliar
respond.
with
Yes,
well,
subscribe to morning announcements. This girl, Samaris, was dating Sergio Collazo, and she said to me, "You've been hitting on my
yeah,
boyfriend." And I
you
was
told
like,
me this.
"No, I
Yeah.
promise you I haven't, because I was gay," right?
Yeah.
And then
Right.
she was like, "Why? He's not good enough for you? What are you, racist or something?" And then I had to make a decision. Am I racist, or do I tell her, "No, it's because I'm gay"? And I, in the time, could not come out with a thing that I wanted to say. I am both not racist and I'm gay, which is why I don't like him, but I didn't wanna say I was gay, so I'm, like, navigating in my mind, like, what I'm gonna do here.
What's so funny is that, like, it's
Bam,
so
right in the
clear
face.
now which one you'd wanna be.
Yeah, but I was like, "Okay, if I
Maybe
say
it's
I'm
different in some
gay,
circles.
all these people
Yeah.
are in the hallway, and then I would have been the first out person. There was no way. I didn't even know how to navigate that, and I was on the cheerleading squad, and I was like, "This is gonna be a disaster. People are
Oh,
gonna think I'm weird." Like,
but I'm a
it was
cheerleader.
I know, I had nothing that I could do in that moment, and then I'm like, "But I also don't wanna say that I'm not sort of say, like, no, I'm not like, what do I was so overwhelmed, bam, and then I just laid on the ground, and she's like, "Are you gonna get up?" And I'm like, "No, ma'am." Oh,
Like, I
no!
don't need to answer this.
Never.
Yeah.
I just need this to be over with.
Did
So
did
that's
anyone
how
get
that
in
went.
trouble for punching you?
No, because I also wouldn't admit that she punched me, and it's not like we had cameras in schools. It was like 1997. We didn't have
Was
any of
there no
that. So
like
they were like, they
teacher
were,
around
yes,
supervising?
yes. And I was like, I don't think that, I mean, I
You're like,
didn't
that
see
didn't
that
happen.
happen.
I'm just on the floor because
That
I
didn't,
want to
right.
be.
Because Samaris
It's
is on the other
coaxed.
side, like, and I'm like, I fell. Okay. I fell. It must have been a ghost. I don't know what happened. But then she never bothered me again. We actually ended up
Have
being
you?
friends by the end of high school, but that was
Well, I
how
was
that
gonna
worked out.
ask, does she know now?
Oh, she probably, I would
Figured
love
it
to know
out?
if she knows. Like, does she see, is she watching right now? Hello, I learned a
Be
lot
like,
from you. I
by the
really
way,
appreciate you.
by the
Yeah,
way, I told
formative
this
time.
story. This was very this look, it was character building.
It
No matter
was.
what you did,
It
except
was.
for say you were racist,
Yep.
probably
Be
probably would have been.
yourself or you're going to get punched in
Look,
the face. I
but the
should have
thing
just
is,
told him I was gay.
it wasn't that easy. Like,
No,
you don't there would have been like
no,
consequences.
no. And then when I
Otherwise,
did come
everyone
out in
would have
high
done
school,
it.
when I did come out in high school, I had to stay home for days. I was like, it was hard. It was hard. It was not
I
cute.
mean,
It
it's
was not
pretty
fun.
like brave that you did that at the
Well, I
time.
didn't want to, but this, it just got to a point where that's how it was. But it was not fun. And then I went to college and I was like, kind of gay, kind of not gay. I was like, oh, I'm like, bye. And
I
it was, yeah,
yeah.
no,
Well,
no,
no bi erasure here.
no, no bi erasure here. I can't believe they took the bisexuals off the Stonewall monument. Bisexuals already face erasure, and now they're literally erasing them.
It's but that's pretty mean.
It is. Anyway, this has been shit talking and speculating with V and Sammy.
Yeah,
Welcome to the group chat. We
yeah,
were
this
all
is
over
fun.
the place.
You know what? As it should be. We contain multitude.
Yes, we do. And we don't have our wonderful producer, Caroline Dumphy, saying, you guys are out of time or you're off topic. We could just keep talking shit, stream of consciousness.
Yeah. And we'll do this whenever we have another desire to do it.
Yes. And especially if something big and breaking and terrible happens. And next time everyone will be able to comment. So we'll try to like create a space where we could just sort of commiserate and learn.
We'll figure out how to get everyone to comment. I don't know,
Yeah.
like,
I
why.
just have to fix the setting, I'm sure. But
Okay, cool. I want more comments. This is
yes.
fun now.
All right. Good night,
All right.
friends. We'll see
Mwah.
you later.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.